Hello, guys, and welcome to another section of our candlestick pattern series. So, in our previous video, we have spoken about candlestick pattern called hammer. So, this is a continuation video to that video. So, those who have not seen our uh, hammer candlestick pattern video, I recommend you to kindly watch that video and then come into this video later in order to get a thorough understanding of the concept. Okay. So, in our previous video, we were talking about something called umbrella lines. And umbrella line is nothing but this formation where you have the real body towards the top end of your candle, and your bottom wick should be at least two or three times larger than the real body of your candle, and you should have a very minimal or no wick on top. The wick should not be more than the size of your real body. So in this case, the color of the candle is not important, it's the formation. Okay, so anything which is in this format is called umbrella lines. Okay, and depending upon where this umbrella line formation is coming, then it can be called as hammer or hanging man. In our last video we have spoken about hammer. So now let's see what a hanging man is. In order to Okay, in order to call any umbrella line as hammer, I'm just making a quick recap of our previous video so that anyone who is watching without any prior knowledge should be able to understand this. So, hammer should have a real body in the upper end of the range. So, all these are points that should be taken into consideration before calling anything as an umbrella line. So, we have three important points here in umbrella line. First thing is the real body should be towards the upper end of the candle range, which we spoke, and the bottom wick should be two or three times, and there should be no or very little upper shadow or a wick to the candle. That is called umbrella line. Now, if the umbrella line is coming after a downtrend like this, then it is called hammer. Okay. Now, hanging man is nothing but the opposite version of the hammer. Okay. See here, hammer is called as a hammer only if it is coming after a downtrend. All right. Now, for the hanging man, it's just the opposite. You should be able to see this hanging man only if there is a prior uptrend. All right. So, you can call an umbrella line only if it is coming after an uptrend. So you can call an umbrella line as a hanging man only if it is coming after an uptrend. Okay, here are some differences between the hanging man and the hammer. All right. So all these points are exactly going to be the same because these are the points which that tells us that this is a umbrella line. Okay, and this arrow mark here tells us that it should come after an uptrend, unlike downtrend in the case of hammer. All right, after an uptrend. So the major difference here is in this hammer situation, you can call an umbrella line as a hammer even if it is coming after a small downtrend. But in this case, you need to see a substantial movement before you can call it as a hanging man. All right, you need to have at least a good movement for this. And also, we have asked you to enter into the closing of your hammer candle in order to take a trade. But in this case, if an hanging man is coming after an uptrend, it means that the uptrend is seeing some kind of a struggle to further go up. All right, and then from there, the chances are that the trend may change. Always remember, trend change doesn't always mean that it is going to get reversed. So after an up move, if you see an umbrella line, it is called as a hanging man. Okay, get this. Let me get this structures there so that you will. Let's draw. Okay, let's keep that as our visual reference. Now that is looking like an umbrella line. Okay, with no upper wick, or you can have a wick also. So the major difference is it should come after an uptrend, but also here after an uptrend, you should always need a confirmation candle. That is, you need to wait for the candle after this, after seeing this hammer. Okay, you need to wait for the next candle to form, and the criteria is you need to see that particular candle's close should be below the close of this hammer candle. Okay, now in this case, okay, now in this case it can be any candle which has a close below the hanging man's close. So imagine this is the next candle that is appearing after your hanging man candle. In this case, your first candle hanging man close is that, and in this case, since this is an red candle, that this is your candle's close after your hanging man. So you need this sort of confirmation. It can be any candle. It can be any candle, a formation there. All you need is a close below this hanging man's close. That only then you can consider this pattern. So now we know that the trend is going to change, and we know that this is going to come after a. I mean, you can consider this only after you see a substantial movement towards the uptrend. A small uptrend is not going to help with this formation. You need to see this formation only after a substantial movement towards the upside. Only then you can consider this, and you need a confirmation candle after that. That is the main difference between hammer and hanging man. For a hammer, usually you don't have to wait for any confirmation candle. You can directly get into the trade by after seeing this umbrella line after some downtrend, so that it can this umbrella line can be called as your hammer, and you can take entry based on one candle. Whereas in your hanging man situation, that is not how it works. A small uptrend is not enough. You need to see an all-time high, or at least reasonably a bigger uptrend, after which you can call your umbrella line as your hanging man, and only that particular hanging man is not enough to take a trade. You need to see a secondary candle after the hanging man, which has a close below your hanging man's close. That is when you will consider this formation and can take trade towards your downside. All right, even in this case, location is very important. That means you cannot see this formation after through 2 3 green candles and consider this. Okay, in order to validate this pattern, you should always wait for a good moment, and then if you identify this pattern, all right, then you can take your trade. There is one disadvantage of this hanging man formation. Let's see what that is. That is, it is the frequency of occurrence. Frequency of occurrence is very less here. But here it is very high. What I'm trying to say is you'll not see the hanging man formation. You'll not see the hanging man formation as often as you see the hammer formation. That is the only advantage, sorry, disadvantage that the hanging man has towards the hammer. And also the second thing is it needs an additional confirmation apart from your umbrella line appearing after your uptrend. Here you don't have to wait for any secondary candle confirmation. Instead you have to wait to see where that hammer is happening location. Hammer coming at the support area is more important to us after a downtrend than a hammer appearing uh, in a sideways market where you don't have any support or prior movement before. All right, I hope you understand. I hope you have understood this concept. Now let's see let's see if we can figure out the hanging man in this bank nifty 5 minutes chart. All right, so all these arrow marks that you see are the markations that we did for our hammer. So see, there was a hammer. Okay, yeah, you see, there was a hammer, this was a hammer, there was one another hammer. Okay, here there is one hammer which has taken some stop loss. Okay, so all these entries were discussed in our previous video. You can go and check for a detailed explanation on of hammer. So here you have hammer. All right, and this is the hammer which gave the maximum moment. All right, now let's look for the hanging man formation. So in order to find the hanging man formation, you have to look for a substantial up move first. So which means in this key areas. All right, there is nothing here. Okay, there is no umbrella. Okay, there is one hammer here. There is one immediately after seeing this, the reason why I call this umbrella line as hammer is because it is coming after a downtrend. Okay, see, this candle is not a hammer because it is coming after a downtrend. See, this particular hand candle is a umbrella line which can be called as hammer because it is coming after your downtrend. Okay, if it is coming after an uptrend, that is after a good up move, then it can be called as a hanging man. So you might ask me, you have a hammer here, then why there is no upward movement? The reason is simple. The location of the candle is very important. Even though this umbrella line has appeared after a reasonable down move, but there is no any kind of support area here. Your next support area was here. So that is why your location is very important while considering. Okay, let's forget about the hammer and let's concentrate only on hanging man pattern. Let's try to identify any hanging man formation. Let's see if we can get any. So there is nothing in this day as well. All right, here there is an engulfing pattern. Okay, don't worry, I will talk about an engulfing pattern in detail in our upcoming videos. So yeah, this is a kind of umbrella line, and you have a confirmation close below the which has happened below your hammer candles close. But you cannot consider this formation. Why? Because this is not coming after an uptrend. This is coming after a sideways market movement. So let's try to look for another. So here there is a big fall. No, here there is no formation there. All right. You see this hammer. This was interesting. All right. So we are looking for a hanging man here. No, no hanging man formation. All right. So here you have a kind of a formation that we are looking for. You see an umbrella line. You see a close next to that umbrella line is below mm, this previous candle's close, but there is no substantial upward movement. There is some reasonable up move here. So risk versus reward ratio is also not that great. At least you should maintain 1:1 risk versus reward ratio. So after this candle formation, the market has gone sideways for a very long time. See, this is what I said. This candle formation is not, you'll not see this formation very often in your daily charts. Okay, let's try our luck with the Nifty. This is Bank Nifty. Let's see if we can find any hanging man formation in our Nifty chart. All right. So this is our Nifty intraday 5 minutes chart. Okay, let's quickly scan for the hanging man formation. I'm only looking for hanging man formation only at these peaks, because we need the rule says that we need to look for a hanging man only after an up move. So I'm not looking at each and every candle. So yeah, this is a perfect formation here. You have noticed that that is a perfect formation, and we have a reasonable amount of movement before that. See, we have a reasonable amount of movement, that it is not just 2 3 candles movement. You have to consider it from the previous swing low. So yes, this is a proper hanging man candle formation setup. Okay, you see from there, market has given us a very good movement towards the downside, starting from there to here. I know that arrow mark looks very forward, sorry, very awkward. So now this is your hanging man pattern example. So this has a very low upper wick. The first candle, I'm talking about this green candle. First of all, this candle has got a real body towards on the upper side, and the downside wick or the shadow is 2 times and more. Definitely, it is more than 3 times of the real body size, and it is coming after an up move. So then this umbrella line can be called as a hanging man. You have to wait for the confirmation. Yes, the next candle's close is below this blue line, which is the close of your previous candle, which is a hanging man. So all our criteria have met. So from there, you can see that there is a good downward movement. Now you can do some back testing on your own and see whether you can find more hanging man patterns in any instrument. It need not be Nifty, Bank Nifty. It can be any stock like Tata Motors. You can see, as I say, bank. You can see TCS. You can see Reliance. You can see MRF. Okay, this works. That is the beauty of candlestick formation. You can this formation works in any instrument in any time frame. The only thing is you have to keep a note of all your rules handy. You should be only then you should be able to take the advantage out of this. So this was the hammer part. All right. So watch this video as many times as you can possibly, so that you will become thorough with the concept, and then comment me in the comment section about how many hanging man formations have you were able to find, and in what instrument. Okay, so that's it for this video. Let's meet in our next session. So please watch this video as many times as possible. Not just this one, even our previous video on hammer, because with this we this is the end for our single pattern formation. So from our next video we'll talk about the dual candle formations and three candle formations, and even beyond that. So these are the two videos that we have done on hammer and hanging man. Both are called umbrella lines. So watch these two videos as many times as possible. Only if you are very familiar with these two concepts, it'll be easy for you. It builds up confidence for you to take the trades at this level, so that you can grasp the other concepts very well. All right. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing and stay tuned for more such valuable content.